Alright guys, just got a huge new update answering your Riders Republic questions. Alright, so I've already taken a little bit of a look at this. I'm going to highlight a bit of the big points for me and a bit of the big points for I think. I'm sure Steve is going to cover some of these himself because they're huge. He had just released the top 5 things that we want in Riders Republic just a couple days ago, maybe yesterday. But it already hits on one of those things that he was mentioning. But we'll get to that in a second. So, first things that it just says is that we're going to answer a few questions. Why does Ubisoft bring you new outdoor sports activity franchises? This one is a little less, like, who cares? Like, yeah, it's an answer, but reading down, this seems like it was a very pre-constructed answer, stuff that we already had. And I was like, okay, I'm not really impressed. How does the freestyle system work? Answers. Answers. Do we want answers? Answers. Anyway, yes, let's hop onto that one because how does the freestyle system work? Because in Steep we didn't have a lot of control over the stuff that we did, so we could not just control our own tricks. It was very set in stone what you could and could not do with your tricks. So a little bit more freedom to do that. A little bit more creativity to make your own tricks. This is the kind of thing that I think Steep will definitely be hitting on this next video.
Yeah.
But mastering manual mode. Alright, there's going to be a manual mode. There's going to be 2 different modes. One of them seems very much more competitive than the others. So there's a casual mode and auto mode, as it says here. Auto mode. That seems like it's going to be very Steep centric. It's going to have the very similar Steep design to it. It'll help you get the perfect landings. It'll guide you to the landing, which is a lot of what we saw in Steep. The manual mode seems a little bit different. It seems like it's going to be pushing on a completely different schedule from what we've seen at all from Steep. It seems like you'll have a little bit more control over how you do these axes. If you want to do a little bit more of a flip, a little bit more of a spin, and you have control over those. Next in difficulty come the flips. You'll need to be careful and make sure you have time to land. Like, if you played Steep at all, we know that you need time to make a trick happen. You can't make a 1080 happen off of a flat ground jump. Like, you need to have a little bit of time and space in order to do this kind of stuff, so I guess it's a give and take. It really doesn't say how hard it will be to use the next mode, other than it'll be more realistic. So if we go down here to the grinds, everything in Riders Republic will happen in the air. Not everything, sorry, will happen in the air. Grinds are another way to back up points. If you're playing in auto mode, you'll need to jump onto the rail. Everything will handle the rest. It'll help you get on the rail, and then it seems very Steep, very centric. It'll help you get that air, get you where you need to be. Whereas the manual mode is everything is in your hands. You have no assists. You have nothing. If you want to jump, you have to get up on there yourself. I saw a Reddit post about this as well. I can't remember who it was. I'll post it up here, right in this little box here. Hey, yes, that post is who the post saying whatever the post says, saying that the rotations and everything else needs to be a little bit more simulated. Hopefully we can get that in the game. It looks like that will be implemented, and having a little bit more control over yourself and your character, I mean, while harder, gives you way more freedom to do what you want to do. You're going to see a lot more competitions, like Steve's Top 5, like Nick and Mitch's best tricks and single jumps and the big airs and all their competitions that they run. A lot of them, the Steves will be way better because you'll have a way higher trick difficulty to pull this stuff off. If you don't need to be held your hand the whole time, you can really pull off some incredible stuff. Another thing that I saw, controls, freedom of being able to customize the mapping of your controls. Now, we did have this in Steep, technically. We could map our controls on the keyboard. We could not do that on the console, and we could not do that on the controller. What I want to see is the full customization on the controller where I could, if I wanted to, move forward with the X button on the Xbox. I want to be able to move with whatever I want to I want to also not have to press the freaking bail button all the time. I don't know if you guys have this problem, but when I'm using this thumbstick, my finger slips down and presses up on the D-pad. You don't know what that is? That bails you, and that is so freaking annoying. Maybe a little bit more customization, like if I could press the button twice instead of having to hold it. Um, there's a lot of things that they could do, and I would really like them to flesh out the system. I just don't know if they will. It says there's also going to be 3 different preset controls to choose from depending on your preferred style. Now, we only saw one playstyle for your controller in Steep, so I assume that type of playstyle will be in the next game, I hope. Just for the people who have been playing that for hours and hours, to have that little bit of familiarity going in. But that does raise the question, what exactly are the controls going to feel like? Is it going to feel better using a different preset? What exactly is the jumps? How is it going to do the controls for the tricks? Like because we have so much extra control now, how will that play into doing all of the tricks and stuff that we want to do? So it may feel better to use a different preset if the old Steep controls don't work, assuming that the Steep controls are in there. Again, they said that this is not a Steep clone. This is not Steep 2. This has nothing to do with Steep. It's its own franchise, its own beginning, but it does pull a lot of information from Steep, so that's why I keep referring back to Steep. That's why I keep hoping that we'll have some similarities and stuff to Steep. What's included in the Gold and Ultimate Editions? It's basically everything we've known so far, except for the caveat of 2 things. 2 exclusive cosmetic packs will be available during year 1. So these are outside of the Ultimate Edition, because the Ultimate Edition says 4 exclusive cosmetic packs, and if you've seen my previous video, I've already gone through all of those. I don't believe that goes with the pre-order, because the pre-order is a separate entity, and this is included in the Golden Ultimate Edition. Excuse me. The BMX Sport add-on, though, this is some more information that we didn't already have about this, is that it will also have new career progression. We knew that we were going to get the BMX Sport. It was in the pre-order. It's already in the information that we have. But we did not know that career progression, so this would be completely separate as a sport from the bikes. So if we assume that the cogwheel that we had in Steep, if you guys played back in Steep when it was first released, it only had 4 sports. We're looking at how many sports did they confirm? 5? I don't know. I'll have to check that and get back to you, because the cogwheel, I guess, will start out the same with 4 or however many that they have in Steep, and then it'll grow bigger. They may also just choose a completely different system. There's no reason they have to stick to that cogwheel system, though it worked for me and I enjoyed it. So we'll definitely have to see how that continues later on. But what I'm getting at, back to the point, full circle, is that this is going to have a new career progression. So you're going to be able to put as much time into this sport by itself as you were into BMX, snowboard, skis, the paraglide, and snowmobiles. But that seems to be it right now. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments section. I want to know what you guys want to see. Did this answer your questions? What answers would you like to have answered? Because they do have the questions, and they are listening to our questions. If you guys put out your questions, they may just pick you to be the next one to answer in 2 weeks' time. So, other than that, I've been Bunkersher2D, and I'll see you on the mountain. Bye, guys.